Welcome. Welcome. Oh, yeah, look at this. We're like on fire. I was worried because I think that we forgot to send out a email. If somebody could tell me if the email went out, I would really appreciate that. Regardless, we're here and doing it. So that's really
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did. Oh, great. So I don't have to yell at anybody today any more than I already have. Thanks, Angel. Okay, wait. This whole thing of a waiting room is a great idea, but not really. In the ass, because then I got to admit everybody. It's like answering the door for real. Not for real. I realize I don't click a button. It's not that hard. Apparently, it's hard for me. Okay, it says one more, so I don't know what's going on here. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, beautifuls. Okay, shoot. Technician. Need a technician. You know what I'm saying? Today is Carmel Call Day, and it's Happy Family Day for anybody who is in the area where it's Happy Family. I know Saskatchewan, it's Family Day today, so happy. I'm in Ireland, and it is 4:30 in the afternoon, and it has been a magnificent day, so I hope you guys are having a good morning. I'm really actually excited about this, and I guess I probably always am excited about it, because I just get to talk, so why wouldn't I be excited about that? But what I am excited about is talking about this moving from the third to the fifth dimensional stuff. And I know it sounds a bit out there and a bit wacko, but we are going to discuss some of that just because I'm noticing so many people having so many issues right now. Now, technically, this has been going on for years, for the last 5 to 8 years, I'd say, 4 to 6 years, somewhere around there. But it's super intense at the moment. And because of that intensity, I'm noticing that whether you're aware of this or not, whether you work in energy or not, whether you're dealing with this, man. Like, it's hard work. Oh, okay, the ding dong might be annoying me slightly. I'll set it up different next time. I can change it now. Yeah, see how that's going? Now, I want to thank you guys for sending your questions. You know what's so funny is last month I had so many questions that I could hardly get through them all. And this month I've got questions, but like, get ready to do some chatting. I'm really excited to see how many of you showed up today, because that's brilliant. It's brilliant. Okay, so let me just go into that for a second. So what I've read and what I've heard is that there was an actual date set for the shift of this vibrational shift on the planet, and then it was moved because, of course, we create our own reality. So what I liked about this is there was sort of a date of, based on how the earth was shifting, what was going on, and then because of how many people have moved into understanding that they are empowered to look after their own lives, people that are moving into, I don't like saying into the light because it makes it sound like okay, good against evil, so to say. I don't like that way of explaining it, but more people starting to get into alignment, more people starting to stand in their own power, doing what they love. There's so many examples here. Because of that, actually accelerated the shift, which I think is pretty freaking cool. So January 31st was technically the date of when it shifted. And what that means is, and so some people will have heard of people talking about Earth 2, a new Earth, that this Earth, that the end of the world's happening. Those are all the predicted things, right? 2012, we had the Mayans, there were so many different ancient civilizations that predicted the end of the world. And that's all tied into this, because the end of the third dimensional reality into the next fifth dimensional vibration, moving from that vibration into the next is technically the end of the world, right? Not to be a big drama queen here, but that's where that came from. Okay, it came from people knowing that the world as we know it is going to shift, and it's shifting, and so there's always a bit of awareness around that, and that's why I wanted to talk about this, because we talk about it on so many different levels, but I don't think we really get the magnitude of it, but also the physical things that we're going through. Okay, so as people that work, I'm looking at a lot of the names on this list here in front of me, and a lot of you guys work in energy, or aware of energy, understand that. And so when you understand, there's a lot of different levels of bigger picture here. So depending on the soul that you are, and you chose this particular time to come back, knowing that there'd be this shift, knowing that there'd be a role for you, whether you consciously knew it or not. So your soul is holding space, or is doing its job, sort of whether you know it or not. Now, that being said, a lot of the people that have been working with energy or light workers or healers or, working in that space, as the physical shift is happening for the earth itself, for all of us, because we're all connected, there's certain ways to help support that energy. So a lot of people who work in energy specifically will have been going through some major physical issues in the last couple of years, especially, that seem almost like counterproductive to the work they're doing. If that makes sense, right? You're doing all of the things that you're in alignment. You're doing you have way more awareness than, say, the person that is just doing it, as a strictly three-dimensional, and that awareness has been challenged for a lot of people in the last few years because their physical symptoms, issues, challenges have seemed counterproductive to the work they've been doing. And so when I understood, or when I received more information, not only from my team, but from other people's teams and information, when I've heard and matched, the information, a lot of that was holding space. And so think about when you're sick, you're very three-dimensional, right? When you're sick or you're in pain, you're extraordinarily three-dimensional. You just want to feel better. You just want to lay on the couch. You're just exhausted. You're just, it brings you very, very, very into that vibration. And to have it shift for people that have no awareness into fifth, somebody's got to hold the space to sort of ground it as it shifts. So a lot of us, whether we know we volunteered for that position or not, volunteered for that position. And so we've been holding space. And yes, our brain's always the last to know, but I'm telling you now, so it's that now the brain will know. But that's a lot of what's been going on. And a lot of the stuff people have been dealing with, it doesn't mean we didn't have logical reasons for them. It doesn't mean we didn't need help shifting them. It doesn't mean they weren't right. It means the timing of that is so connected, and so many of us went through a period of struggle and challenge and physical issues is because on a bigger scale that shift was happening. Now, that being said, that's past. This shift, this sort of final thing into what people call the new world, the new earth, all of that sort of thing. That was a funny sound. Did you guys hear that? Anyways, because of that, sorry, too many people talking to me. But because of that, right now they're going through a lot of upset, right? Oh yeah, see what happened? She fell out, she came back in. They've been going through a lot of upset. So the upset is the wobbly bits. It's the feeling spaced out. It's the still dealing with some physical issues. It's still feeling like that there's something calling you, but you don't know what's calling you. There's so many different examples of this. So you can use this time, and I'm going to try not to talk the whole time, right? Because that was like, to ask questions about that, knowing that I'm not just going to give you the whole sort of woo stuff I just gave you right now. For those who this is the first time hearing about that shift, it's going to sound really strange, but it is moving to that space. It has already technically shifted, and everybody's going to make their way through. It's just the more awareness you have around it and how to cope with it and how to move through it, the better. Okay, if you've been avoiding your soul's call up until this point, you will not be able to avoid it anymore. That doesn't mean you'll do it. It means you'll have to deal with the repercussions of being out of alignment, which for everybody is different. Okay, so what I've noticed is, personally, because this is going to be a question, but what I've noticed personally is the more, how am I going to say this? The more you understand about your physical makeup, your physical being, and how it works and how it interacts with reality here, interacts with the world, interacts with quantum field, interacts with the law of attraction, all the same. When you have more awareness of that and really bring yourself into a program or into a focus or into a way of being that allows you to be in that flow, allows you to stay out of the rubble and stay in the vision, you'll notice the movement is towards what you're focusing on is faster right now. You'll notice that the synchronicity is faster. You'll notice that it's very uncomfortable. You'll notice that you feel almost like you're a little bit crazy because you're believing something that's not here yet. Now for us, for other ones of us that are in the midst of our world, trying to sort out our world, it's going to just seem like it keeps getting crazier. It's heavy. It's chaotic. It's not quite settling. It's not quite. One day you're flying it, the next day you're not. Sometimes it's just the day. I'm flying it. I'm crashed. I'm flying it. I'm crashed. It can be very all over the place. So that's why I'm saying the more you know what you want to tune yourself to, what your vision is, what that vibration is, what that focus is, what that emotion is, when you know that you've got sort of a guiding light to keep your boat steady through the energetic shifts that are happening. Okay? Okay. Okay. So I'm going to explain how this goes so I don't, again, spend the whole time, because I probably could spend the whole time talking about this. I've got my little list of people that have sent in. I am going to do mostly coaching questions at the beginning, like last time, and then I'm going to do the psychic ones at the end, okay? Or the last half, or the last bit of how we're going to divide up this hour, okay? So you guys can, where is my little chit chat area? You guys can, somebody type me a hi. Let me see if we can do that. Type me a hi so I get my little, I don't know what's going on with this today. You guys can, oh yeah, good work. I love you guys so much, because hi, good. Oh, and look at this, I got a gazillion highs. Okay, in that Zoom chat that I couldn't find, but you guys clearly can. Yep, that's right. You can put your questions in there as we go along. You put them in there right now, because we will not have enough just from what was sent in. Hey, Cindy, Maggie, Isabel, Angel. I don't have enough from these, so I realize I can talk about it, but I'm just going to go to the first one because it does pertain to what I was talking about. And that's my Patty girl. She said, anything to help with sleep, concentration, and headaches at this time. Now, and this, I mean, I love that, because I love it, because those are sort of, I don't know if I call them the top three, because I'm not going to rate them with something, but they are in the top, whatever, 5 or 10 things, right? Sleep, people are having a really hard time with sleep. They're having a hard time with concentration. Big time. And you have to understand the difference when you haven't felt what fifth dimensional vibration feels like. It's higher. So if you've ever been in a different altitude, if you've ever, that thing is like your brain's like this. Ooh, just a second, it's taking me a moment to process. It's like a sort of airy kind of feeling where you're like this. Some people get a bit dizzy. Those are some of the symptoms that people are having. What was the last one? And then, so again, we're going to go into, and headaches. Oh yeah, for sure. So the headaches are the same thing. These are all symptoms of that vibrational shift, and the brain, first of all, trying to figure out why it can't concentrate, what's going to happen is, I'm going to put this in a simpler way. What's happening is you're moving into the next you. So the you were a year ago is not the you are now. The you were when you were 20, definitely not the you now. Now, you may not have consciously, with the awareness, chose the next you and chose the next you and chose the next you, but this is a really important time to choose the next you. Okay, that's how you're going to maintain a steadier balance, because what your habits do, they're fantastic, but what our habits do is they try and pull us back to what's comfortable, what feels normal. I want to feel like I'm okay. I want to feel like myself. But yourself is shifting. So yourself is a different self almost already. So we need, the more alignment we can bring, the more awareness of, you still can choose that self, my sweets. You still choose it, but this is a time where you're moving into this sort of whether you like it or not, on a mind level. On a soul level, the soul's like this, ooh, we've been waiting for this. This is what we came here for. Part of the reasons you came here. Okay, so the movement forward of this is starting to put some energy into what that next self looks like. Now, it doesn't have to be a drastic difference. It needs to be, are you joyful? And if you're not, are you waiting for joy? Why aren't you doing things for joy? Do you think you're joyful, but you're really not when you look at it? And I'm using these because a lot of us have a persona in our head that we're happy and we're fun and we're joyful. And really we're not, but we actually believe we are. But when we look at our life, we're not, we're waiting to be. We have moments of. So the persona we're putting out there is not in alignment with the persona that's actually happening for most of us. So that awareness, especially during this time, which will help with the concentration, is starting to get into alignment of the ideal or the next self you'd like to be, whether that's more joyful, whether that's more fun, whether that's living in the beach in the Bahamas. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it's more important now than ever to become more aware of self. Way, way, way more aware of self. If you are not loving yourself, this is your mission, to start to learn how to be on your own team, because that's where the concentration, we've got to get the full you standing in the full you. Okay, that will also then help with sleep, believe it or not. It will also help with the headaches. The headaches, if you cannot get too caught up in them and allow yourself a moment to either take a little break or just honor it and let the energy move, they won't last as long. Because if she's getting the headaches that are really from this, I'm not questioning that, I'm saying then painkillers don't work. And so if you're noticing that, that's an energy headache, if you will. That's a vibrational shift headache. It can be lots of reasons for energy headaches, but painkillers won't shift the pain. That's a real bummer. But so you're gonna have to, there's an awareness in it, there's a whole thing. I'll give you an example. Yesterday I was in an old fort, about 400 years old, and I was traipsing around there having a great old time, and I'd been there before, and we got to a certain part of it, and it felt like something hit me on the head, like a brick, like it hurt so bad and so the awareness of that, obviously I understood it, but for somebody else who wouldn't understand that pain in their head, all they would do is focus on the pain in their head. Why do I have a pain in the head? I gotta leave, I can go lay down in the car, I should go. The whole focus would go around the pain in their head, instead of going, oh yeah, I know I got this pain in my head, and it'll go away as soon as I move the energy. So as soon as I left the fort, I still continued the whole running around because my son was having great visions and cool things happening. I was kind of following just for my own entertainment. But we went through, but as soon as I got back in the car, it came, it went, it came, it went, it was gone. But I also knew to not give it attention, to allow it to process through it. And I also knew it wasn't mine. And so even as you're going through this shift, it is yours, but it's not yours to grab onto and hold and fix. It's just like saying, oh, we're going through a little turbulence right now. You can't do anything about that. You just sit back and wait till it gets smoother. That's sort of how that goes. The vision will help the concentration, right? The alignment. I would highly, 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 highly recommend implementing a meditation practice now. And if you haven't, do it. And it literally needs to be, how bad do I want to move into the next me? How bad do I want to feel better? How bad do I want to be abundant? You can have this be about wealth. You can have this be about, I don't care what the next vision of you is. Just get the vision and then get to know the person in that vision. That's the self-love. That's the awareness. That's the shifting. But as this shifts and we don't have the awareness, you're going to keep trying to be the old you. You're going to keep trying to feel normal. And it's just gonna take a longer process. Okie dokie. Okay. Okay, seems like a lot, doesn't it? Okay, so you guys can put something in here. If not, I'm gonna pop into, and you guys, you know what? You don't have to ask questions for coaching. You don't have to ask about the shift. It was part of what I wanted to talk about today, just because I noticed so many people, whether they think it's absolutely insane that I'm talking about a fifth dimensional shift. They're experiencing that. People are moving on. People are leaving this planet. There's just massive shift going on. Massive, massive, massive. Huh, that's strange. Okay, Maggie. How can we manifest some things easy and other things are not so much? Is it basically just not in alignment with that time? And it will show up when it's supposed to. Oh my God, I love you. Okay. So when we manifest things so easily, I'm going to use the word we're in alignment with it, okay? And when she says other things not so much, I can guarantee you the things that are not so much, you've got a lot of either structure around how you want it, or you're looking for it. So when you're looking for something that you want to manifest, you're putting out the vibration that you don't have it. So it can be right in front of you and you won't pull it in. So that's why you'll notice the things we manifest really easy. We thought it, we want it. That's a great thing. We went about our day. So we got alignment with it. We actually know it's going to be done. We didn't give it too much of one thing, but not too much of the other, if that makes sense. So the clarity comes from getting to know what you want. That's the clarity. And then knowing what that feels like. And then knowing that quantum field and your guides and angels are going to bring that to you. Bringing that to you means stop looking. Right? If I knew, Jody, sit on that bench over there, somebody's going to bring you a beer, fantastic. Would I go looking for the beer? No. I would just sit back and look at the scenery and wait for my beer. But that's what we do. We're like this, oh, God, I'd love a new car. And then we sit there, how am I going to get a new car? I just can't get a new car. I can't afford a new car this year. I mean, I'm after just getting a new house. Right? So do you see how that is not waiting for a new car? That's going back there and trying to, I don't know, build a brewery or a car dealership. I don't know. So there's that, right? There is something to do with timing. Timing has to do with alignment and trusting that. You know, what I've noticed is a lot of us believe we're a soul having a human experience, but nobody trusts their soul. Nobody listens to their soul. Nobody thinks the soul knows the story. Nobody thinks the soul has a timing. Nobody thinks the soul, who is you, the only you that actually is you. The personality you're being is the expression of you. But it's so interesting that we're so invested in the expression of us and the belief structures in our head that didn't even come from us. And we think that is the thing. Sorry, I can't even. That we think that is the thing because that's the structure we believe. I get it. I'm saying if you really want to hold yourself to manifesting, you've got to really get clear on what you believe. You've got to really get clear. Do you believe your soul? So if your soul says, I want to do this, or buying a Beamer makes me happy, your brain can't say, well, that's not very spiritual. That can't be right. Or what do people say? If you can't trust your soul and you're more worried about what other people say, then how do you think that's going to go for you? So then you'll say, well, I guess it wasn't meant to happen. I wasn't supposed to get the Beamer. No, you already cut it off. It was ordered, then you canceled the order, so now they're waiting for another order. So this is where this is. It's about the more you get to know you, the more conversation, the more connection, you're going to create way more flow, but not with that. I thought it was going to happen this way. Yeah, you might have thought that, but that's not how it happened. And if you're in the flow, it always happens better than you ever thought. That's the point. It has to come a way you least expect, you guys. When you're manifesting, and if you think back on the things you've manifested, it came a way you didn't expect. It always does. Even if you're like, well, I sold the house, I expected it to be sold. Now it's sold. Yeah. But the day that the person came and the day that they called and the whatever wasn't the way you expected. I guarantee it. So that the way that rolls is, can we push the river and manifest? Of course we can. It's just really long, really hard. No problem. But even that way is because we expect it to work. So of course it does. So you can change that to a much easier flow. Yay. Thanks, Maggie. Uh-huh. Yeah. That's a good one because it really is about trusting you, not you, Jodie Rollins, but you, the soul of Jodie Rollins, that actually is the soul that's had all the lifetimes, that actually knows that all of this stuff is interchangeable. If there's infinite realities, you guys, why do you keep choosing the same one if you don't like it? Because it's scary. 100% get it. I'm just saying this is where you hold yourself to. You hold yourself to, what do I really believe? If this is something I want and I'm in alignment with it, I don't have to question where it's coming from. I don't have to question when it's coming from. My job is to stay in alignment so that it can come flying in. Okay. Bonky bonk bonk. Maggie, if you need more on that, give me a shout out. Isabel, thanks for the answers about the week of headaches coming and going. Oh yeah, you're welcome, Isabel. Right? It is. It's yeah. And the problem is our brain grabs onto it. Why am I having headaches? Is there something wrong with me? Maybe my backside joint. Maybe, don't get me wrong. If that's something, check it out. But it is this massive movement and where you are in the movement. And some of us will feel it different. You'll have a sore back. You'll be extremely tired. Some people are noticing that they're going through their day really well. And then all of a sudden, and not just like that mid-afternoon, Snickers time or whatever people call it. Pick me up time. It's not that. It's like somebody pulled a plug and you just deflate it. And that if you allow yourself to lay down for a few minutes, it actually then just right back up. It's amazing. You just lay there for 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. But most of us don't. Most of us go, what is going on with me? I'm never this tired. I never do this. I never, right? We're relating. That's the relating back to the old you. That's the pulling back. That's the, I just want to feel like myself. Even though On a flip side, you're saying, I just want to move into this next reality, or I just want to move into this next experience, or I just want to manifest. The problem with the word manifest is it sounds like you have to do some work. In fairness, you have to do some work. You have to align with the manifestation. But in our training, especially in, you know what, I won't even limit it to Western world. Well, I'm in the Western world, so, but there's a belief structure that we have to work for anything that we get, right? You have to work for it. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to get that? You know, that's our parents. Well, what are you going to do? You want to be this? How are you going to do that? And so because we have that, when we say, I'm going to manifest, it sounds like I'm going to go get that. Instead of, I'm going to order something from the universe and it's going to be delivered. You know, there's a different, I really want you to get the attraction mode of this, you guys, and how important it is to be the vibration of what you're wanting. And most of us wait for what we're wanting to then feel the vibration. It doesn't work that way. Okay? Yay. Okay, any more questions on here? No? Any more coaching questions? Bring it on if you got them, because I'm going to move into psychic in a little bit. I don't want to quite do that at the moment because then I don't want to switch back and forth. I know, it's just how I roll. No, everybody's good. Really? All you people in here, nobody has coaching call question? Love it. Love it. Okay, well then you're just good. It's just good. Okay, well then I'm going to go into these. But if you do have one, pop it on there. Just type it into your into the little group chat there. You can do it privately if you want me to read it. I won't read it out loud, but I'll answer the question. You can put it in privately, or you can put it in for everybody to see. 100% up to you. Okay. On the, sorry, something else has come up here. It's more about the, I can't really stress this more, but it's more about the connection with you at this point. At this point in shifting, even if you didn't know what you wanted, which you always do, but even if you didn't, it is about the relationship with you, to you. It is the words you say to yourself. It is the belief structures you have around yourself. It is the things that you've held on to keep yourself safe. Those will not serve you very well moving through this vibrational shift. So the more you are getting to know you, the more you are being kind to yourself, the more you are listening, the better. Hello there. Do you have a question? Let's go to hi. Hi. Okay, so those sorts of things are, this is what's happening right now, is that we think we know who we are and we don't, because we know who we are as a personality. And so what's happened is we've stopped any kind of self-examination of our personality because we've accepted it as our personality, instead of understanding that that is a collection of beliefs and habits that have become a habit. And so it keeps showing up, which keeps affirming our personality. If, you know, people say, well, I'm hard on myself. I've always been hard on myself. No, you haven't. So somewhere you learn to be hard on yourself. You don't have to be hard on yourself anymore. Oh, I bet you somebody doesn't. Or are you screen sharing this? I don't think that's what we're screen sharing. Ooh, that's crazy. Oh, there we go. Here's all my peeps. Oh, Terry, she's having a kick-ass month this month. Does that mean I found the right vibration? It means, see this, okay, so I love you. So the right vibration is not the right vibration for everybody. So my right vibration is not going to be your right vibration, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It means, Terry, whatever you got going on right now, you are in alignment with what you want and you're not getting in the way. So you're not ordering your dinner at a fancy restaurant and then going in the back and seeing if they're cooking it right. You're allowing yourself to be on the top of that wave, if you will. So high five for you. That's what I mean. For a lot of us, you know, people are struggling through this time, but there's a lot of us that aren't, that are just like watching things come in, like a kick-ass month. Watching things move, watching things fly in, watching synchronicities where you're like this, shut the front door. You know? So my thing is, I mean, this is a great example, Terry, because in the awareness of this, I want you to be even more aware now. So you're having a kick-ass month, means you're killing it, means your focus is somewhere. I want you to look at, where is my focus? What if I've been aligning? What have I been telling myself? I've been telling myself I'm having a kick-ass month. Every time something cool happens, right? Every time something cool happens, you're riding that wave. But right now you're riding the wave. I can see it from one step to the next step to the next. I want you to notice that they're all the same frequency about something for you. And that's how you're going to maintain this, instead of say, I had a kick-ass month in February. I don't know what happened in March. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm saying if we don't be aware of when we're riding the wave or when we're in the right, I'm going to put air quotes around that, because right vibration again means alignment with what you want. It doesn't mean everybody does the same one. Okay? So the right vibration, yeah, you're killing it, man. Like you're doing it. And we all are going to go through that. But the more awareness we have around that movement, that fire, that the more out of the box, the more loving, the more connected, the more vision you have, which brings in the emotion, the more connected to the emotion, the more you memorize the emotion. Now it's all about the emotion. That's a frequency. And yeah, so you found the right frequency for you this month, 100%. Put more awareness now around it so that you can emanate the next or stay in it. Or when it wobbles a bit, you remember, oh, this is the emotion, this is the feeling I need to bring myself back into. Okay? Brilliant. Okay. Carrie, I hope that worked. Okay, I got a next question, and I better watch time. Yep. This is so, okay, I'm going to read this. This is so timely as I feel I'm burning out. I feel so tired. I know I have to leave my current job. I have a possibility to go back into the trekking world as a project manager, which is another type of job, back into. So we're going backwards into something comfortable, right? Which doesn't mean it's bad. Just bear with me. He's been talking with his wife, and so he's building a business, and he's wanting more clients. So what if I were to apply for a coaching job, for example? Okay, so he's building a business as a coach, and he's dealing with this energy clearly. So we're going to talk about that for a second. And then what we're really asking is, should he apply for a coaching job in in a place where there's a bunch of coaches, right? Where there's a flow. So first of all, let's just address honoring that. So here's the thing. If you're feeling like you're burning out and you're so tired, and the next sentence is, I know I have to leave my current job. So the awareness is, I know I have to leave my current job. The awareness is, I don't like my job and I don't want to be here. The awareness is, I know where I want to be. Now what's happening is, if you're trying to, this is such a good example of what we're just talking about. If you're trying to go from, I don't like my job, I know what I want to be doing, so how do I do it? I've decided how I'm going to do it, and I'm going to bust my ass to do it. Now, if you're busting your ass, think of the vibration of that. Nope. That's going to pull in more busting your ass vibration. That's going to pull in more things blocking you. That's resistance being met with resistance. Now, logically, it's not going to make sense to you, because logically, it's going to feel like, if I don't want to be here, but I want to be here, and you're telling me just to align with here and let it flow, that seems counterproductive to any of us that grew up thinking you can't just sit on your ass and have stuff magically show up for you, right? You can't just sit on your butt and expect, right, you can't. But if you're aligning and you're sitting on your butt and you're meditating and you're pulling in that vibration, and then you're working with your team, and then you go about your day in the flow, listening to your body, listening to your ease, following your own ease, yeah, it'll move like you've never seen it move. Okay, so there's part of that to be really mindful. This is part of the shift. This is a day-to-day, moment-to-moment thing, you guys. This isn't it's a big picture, but it's not a big picture fix. It's a moment-to-moment fix. You can't go back into old habits of pushing and pushing and pushing and then go, well, my vision is ease. Well, you're not moving towards that. You're not implementing ease in your day. So this is going to take a long time. This could take another lifetime before you get this one. So we want to start implementing the very thing we want. Okay, so there's that part of that. The other part is, should he move into, now, in fairness, when I feel that on a psychic level, but even we can use this on a coaching level. So when he says he's wanting to work for himself in a coaching, as a coach, and then should I apply for a job coaching with other coaches, right? Like in a firm, or in a, you know what I'm saying. I can't find the word. But basically working for somebody else under an umbrella of somebody else. When I feel that for him, and anyone else who's doing, you can feel that. You can feel that that's actually a nice way to ease him into the next level, right? Doesn't mean he can't do it either way, of course not. But will this ease him in with more comfort and more flow and more grounding? Yeah, 100%. So yeah, does that feel good? That feels really good. Is that the only way? No. But that's what's come to you, and that's where the inspiration is. And I can feel the softness of it because you're meeting yourself halfway. You're meeting yourself from being in a job you don't like to doing your dream job. Now we have an in-between step. There's always in-between steps, you guys. That's why when people say, I want to live on a beach, and then they want to tell me all the reasons that'll never happen. They have no idea what's on this road from here to here. Give these guys, that's their job. Right? Quantum field, infinite possibilities, you guys. Infinite. Ponder that word even. Okay, but to do it, you've got to be present and in the moment and in alignment with what you're doing. And it's going to feel like you are not in this reality because you're not. You're aligning with the next. You're starting to be the next you. If you're waiting to be happy, if you're waiting to feel like you're in the right job, if you're waiting to feel like you're doing your soul's call, you're creating a carrot and a stick, man. It'll be right in front of you, but you'll never catch it. We want the carrot to come to you on a rotator belt. Okay, we want to change the paradigm of this. And changing a paradigm and a way of being is going to blow your beliefs apart. It's going to feel like it's insane. It's going to feel scary to think that way. That's why we do it incrementally. So yeah, that feels really good actually to do that in-between step. There's always an in-between step. And we never know what it is until it comes in. And it fits and feels better. Okay. And then we go to the next. It doesn't mean we gave up on the dream. It means there's steps to the dream. Okay. If that is, I hope that answered your question, Louise. Okay. Isabel, my darling, psychic question. Okay, just wait before I go into psychic. I just want a second. So this past month, I have become aware that my self-talk is extremely negative. Okay, Lois, I'm going with you just because I'm going to do that, and then we'll go into psychic stuff. So she's noticed in the past month that her self-talk is extremely negative. Not how I am with others at all. Oh my God, I love this. However, the awareness and the ability to change the behavior is vastly different, right? God, I love this. That's what this is, right? We're trained to be like this. Like, don't think a negative thought, and like don't go into the negative when we've got tons of negative crap going on in our head all the time. We have bad self-talk. We have things that we say to other we would never say to another person. Like, this is such a good example. And changing it is the key. So first of all, find a behavior you don't particularly want anymore. So first of all, that takes awareness of the behavior, which clearly you're saying, Lois, right? Which is brilliant. That's a high five moment. That's not a, oh my God, I have negative talk. No, that's a holy shit, I didn't even know I was talking to myself like that. That's a high five moment. Then I want you to look at that thought or that behavior and write down all the thoughts you think when you're in that behavior. Write down the way you hold your body. Write down how you feel. Write down the feelings you have when you're in that. Become acutely aware of that behavior so that you can stop doing that behavior. Don't avoid it. Then I want you to write down, this is for everybody, then I want you to write down the ways you want to be in those situations, but just in general. So if you didn't want to have extremely negative self-talk, what would extremely good self-talk look like? And when we have and for her, because she's seen this example, she'll know the situations connected to the example. So this is for anybody, but it'll relate to different situations. So you may notice they have negative self-talk. You'll notice when you have it. When you have it will connect you to situations and how you're showing up in the world. So you'll notice that you say, this to yourself, but so then you overachieve because you have negative self-talk. So then you constantly need people telling you how good you are. Right? I'm not saying that's you, Lois. I'm just giving an example. Right? Then you'll notice all of these behaviors that come from that one awareness you just had. It's so empowering. So first of all, you want to identify it so that you can say, I no longer want to act like this anymore. I no longer want to speak like this. And there'll be so many things connected to it. And then you decide, what does it look like if I stop doing that? What does it look like? What do I look like? What do I feel like? How would I walk? Would I dress different? Would I talk? Would I hang out with different people? How would this person look like? That's the next you. That's what I'm talking about. That's such a great question. That's the next you, my sweet. But first we need to identify what we no longer want to think. We no longer want to feel. Because that's an awareness of a habit. And then we move into the next. Then your focus is the next. Are you aligning with this new person? Are you aligning with how you want to be? Now, what I like to have when I work with people that way, when I do coaching, we do this in the, in the process. So when you're coaching with me, you have to show up every week with the movement forward. So you've sort of got me on your tail, so to speak. You can't really slack off. But when you're doing this, I like you to name that next you. And it needs to obviously be you, but whether you had whether you have a persona that people see you at now and you wish you could own that and be that all the time instead of falling into these old patterns, great. What's that persona? Professional me or kick-ass Jodie or whatever. So there's awarenesses here of whatever. You can rename it. I don't care. Make it whatever you want. But sometimes the brain, it's easier for us to create a new person if we can connect to, it still has to connect to you and to that sort of idealized vision of you. But we need to then have a name of it or an awareness of it. Okay? So it could be rich, right? Rich Jodie. It could be world traveler Jodie. It could be, I can't think of things, but it could be healthy, fit Jodie. That will align me with, oh yeah, I know what it feels like to be healthy and fit. So my body's going to respond as soon as I say that name. So then when you're in regular situations in your day, you literally say, what would healthy, fit Jodie do? She wouldn't be bitching about this. She'd be going for a walk. Oh, great. Off you go. That's how you interrupt those habits. The old habits are like this. Oh, God, my jeans are saying, I just feel bad. I should phone a friend so they can tell me that I'm not really gaining weight. No, what would healthy, fit Jodie? She wouldn't give a flying fuck. She'd just go do whatever. She'd go eat some cake and maybe go for a walk. Who knows? But you'll have your own answer to that. Do you like how I put fit and cake together? They actually work together, but that's a whole other topic. That might be next month's call. How cake can make you happy. Not the way you're thinking. Anyway. Okay, how are we doing here? We got that one. What? Okay, wait, I have to go to, I got to pay attention to the time. I got to look where I left off. Okay. So, Isabel, okay, wait. Okay, I think we moved into psychic, and if we haven't, we are anyways, but even when I'm reading from Maggie. Okay, so I'm going to go back up to Isabel, and I'm going to go to my list here as well. Psychic question, why is someone kicking me right now? My leg tingling like someone's kicking me. Tingling or kicking, so there's a big difference there. Getting head tingles, and I now know what that is, but what's the dream? What's with the damn legs? Here's the thing. Whatever's holding you back right now, Isabel, you are getting some massive nudges for that. Okay, so what we're even talking about today, the vibration of moving forward into the next you, make no mistake where your soul will be getting your attention right now to say, do you see what she's saying? It's like saying, go to that already. Listen to what she's saying. Da, da, da. Okay, this is about moving forward, but this is what our brain wants to do. Who's kicking me right now? Does that really fucking matter who's kicking right now? No. It matters that it's like move forward. Feel the message from it. The message from it is move your tush. You already know what you want. You're getting so much confirmation with tingles. Tingles are confirmation most of the time, especially your head tingles. But the leg is even better because the leg is about movement. I can guarantee you right now, you've been holding back on something, talking yourself around in circles and in circles and in circles, and this is it. But you see, our brain wants to go, let's figure out who's kicking me instead of actually just listen. And the listen is, move your tush, lady. It's time to make change, and it's going to be scary. And if you're waiting for it not to be scary, it won't. And if you're going to try and logic it out, it won't happen either, because it's going to be a soul-led thing. There won't be a lot of logic until it plays out perfectly, and then your brain will say, see, that worked perfectly. But it will only say that once you've trusted and moved forward. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, where am I going now? Oh, good. Good work. Oh, good. That's good. This is how we trick ourselves, you guys. That's the same thing. Why is my head hurting? If you know there's shifting going on, you can go, oh, it's hurting because there's shifting going on. You're going to move through it. Right? It's the same thing. I'm being nudged. Why do you think somebody's nudging you? Because if they wanted to show up and tell you who they were, you'd know it. But it's the message of the nudge. It's the message of, you don't kick someone unless there's a point, like get moving, right? Or if it's your honey under the table to shut their mouth, you just kick them, but it's still a movement forward, right? It's still to get their attention. Chip chop, let's roll. Okay. See how much fun this is? Okay, Maggie, I'm going with you. Wait, Maggie, I'm coming back to you. I promise me, sweet. But I have to go to these, otherwise I'm going to get yelled at for sure. Okay, I've got Michelle asking a psychic question. I didn't even check if she's on the call, but she will listen to the replay for sure. I've had to make a few adjustments in my career path due to circumstances, and I'm okay with that because I'm excited about what is coming for me this year. Had to make some adjustments in my career path, and she's okay with that, and she's excited about what is coming in this year for me. Okay. However, it seems that even though I've been putting out positive thoughts about the financial backup part of this transition, I need punctuation, you guys, when you send me stuff, because I think I read like a computer, and if there's no, okay, let's try that again. However, it seems that even though I've been putting out positive thoughts about the financial backup, part of this transition is where it all is falling apart. So the financial backup part of this transition is where it's all falling apart. Is there anything that I'm missing that I should be doing differently? Apparently, I just can't read. Right. So this is a really good example, sort of. This isn't just another example, but we're going to answer it psychically first, but we can actually use this as a coaching question as well. Putting out positive thoughts, if they're not aligned, apparently we're going to coach it for a second, but putting out positive thoughts without having an alignment of feeling abundant and feeling like the financial backup is already there. If that's not there, if you're not feeling it, you've got electric thoughts with no magnetic feelings. We have magnetic feelings. The magnetic feelings are saying, where's the financial backup? Where's the financial backup? How come I don't have it yet? I can't move forward until I have it. So we have counteracting things. We don't have alignment. Okay. So what I feel is you've got one, and psychically what they're showing me is you've got one foot in and one foot out, and you're doing it on purpose. Not on purpose, but on purpose. Okay. Which means you're keeping yourself safe, but you're saying you really want to do something. So this is are you all in or not? So whatever that looks like in this story of what you want to move forward in, you're not all in. You keep saying, I'll do this if, I'll do this if. And the way science works, the way law of attraction works, is if you don't show up, it has no reason to show up. So you being half in and half out won't work. And the fear that's in that back right foot of yours, my sweet, is pretty stuck in there at the moment. So the work for you is starting to feel flow and joy and abundance off of this topic. Getting off of this topic as much as possible so this can start to float to the top and you can start to see evidence come in. Right now, this is so stuck on, I'm not moving until, like, it's so stuck, if you will. The more focus you put on this, it's gonna accelerate both sides, so it's not gonna move. So for you, as you move forward and up, you have to get the alignment of this, meaning what is the feeling of when that financial backup shows up, which it will. When it shows up, what does that feel like? How do you feel? And then bring that feeling into your primary memorized feeling of the day. So I don't care if you're cleaning toilets, you're going to bring in that joyful feeling. That's a quote from yesterday when I was cleaning toilets. But you can do it. You're cleaning toilets. So what? So can't you do it with a joyful heart? Can't you do it with alignment? Of course you can. So not about the toilets, just alignment with your home vibration. And that's the test, right? Do it when it's not fun. Do it when see if you can do it then. That's getting you, first of all, off that topic, Michelle, and then it's also going to get you to start to master your own vibration. And that's what we're working towards here, mastering our own vibration, because it's our vibration that pulls in our reality. You know, so sticky notes for you guys that can't remember that you're attracting your life. Your life is showing up to meet you. And that if you're not there, it won't show up. You have to understand when we work with, I'm not even going to get into a big science lecture because we'll run out of time, but know that if you don't show up, it can't show up. So when people say, I want to move, I just had a client and everything's fallen into her world in 5 days. But if you'd have spoken to her before we had a little meeting, a reading, she was stuck here for 2 more years. She couldn't move. There was all these stories she'd told herself. And as soon as we changed the perspective on the stories, I'm not even joking, within a week, she found a place for her to stay. She found a place for her animals to stay. She found a job. She's moving now. She's like, it's done. That was a perspective change. That wasn't anything else. So as soon as she changed her perspective, everything showed up. But if you're waiting for the things to show up so you can change your perspective, it will never happen. So for you, my sweet, because I can see you half in and half out and more weight on the back foot, that means you've put your foot in, but even your front foot's not being stood on that strongly yet, because you think you need the financial backup to do this, and you don't. You may need it the way you're visioning doing it, but you could be doing it in that incremental steps so that this can come in. So whatever you're holding back on, move forward in pieces. It doesn't mean this vision changes. Keep the vision. But there are steps that can be made right now where we don't have you divided in half. Okay? All right, babies. You want more? Yes, my girl, Angel. I know you'll talk to me. Just one sec here. What is the white light? What is the white light beams coming out of my eyes? Yeah. I was gonna say I have to explain that. My people said just come here. so I'm just listening. That's what I'm doing. Well, oh yeah. This is part of the shift for you, for one thing. It's part of all the stuff you've been going through. So it's almost like you're in pieces. Please don't take that the wrong way.
Nope, not taking it the wrong way.
Yeah. So when they show it to me, it's like a movie to me, actually, where somebody's filled with the light. You know what I mean? But it's starting to but it's not stabilized yet. Pew pew. Now in some movies that would be you just disintegrating. You're not disintegrating. You're actually reintegrating. So you've been sort of brought down or taken apart on some levels, and you're moving back in. You're not even back in. You're moving into a whole other level of standing in trust, standing in the light of you, standing in your own space. And because of that, every once in a while you're seeing almost like cracks in the. It's not armor, but do you know what I mean? It's like you just see it shine through. Now, eventually, what will happen is it's actually just going to be you. So it won't be like pew pew. It'll just be the vibration you're in and comfortable in. But right now, it's like building, if you can think of it that way, right? And so as this is shifting and reintegrating, old, new, shifting, you're going to see sort of. The best way I can explain it is if something just shot through an opening, right? And it makes it sound like you're like in pieces, and you're not, but technically we all are right now because we're moving through that. You just work at a different level and a different understanding of spirit. So and the fact that you can see it. So other people would be going through similar things. They wouldn't see the light you do.
Okay. Got it.
And since I got you, I might as well do, how do I tune into my premonitions? So when you say that, so is that a psychic question?
Yes.
Okay. Because if you're having, I know what you're saying. Sorry. This is awesome today.
I'm a difficult child. You should know that.
I know. Every time I go to say something, I don't know, just super fast. Super fast. Okay. Here's the thing. What's happening is you're getting interested in your premonitions. You with me?
Yeah.
And as soon as you get interested, your brain's involved. The other part of your brain. You with me?
Yeah.
So when you want to tune into them, it's because you want to know more, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And because you want to know more, you've really got to look at where you're coming from. If you're coming from your brain, you have to understand that that's part of the control you're moving into. You're moving into control of, I'm not being run by a personality computer that I created. I'm going to be run by my soul. So if I'm being shown this, you can move back into that energy. And if more information comes through, great. And if it doesn't, you say, thank you very much. And that's all you need to know right now.
Okay.
But the brain wants to be like this. There's got to be a way to dissect more, right? You don't have bad connection to your being. What?
It's interesting.
It's interesting. I know. Don't get me wrong. I 100% know that. It doesn't mean, like, they're showing me a time when I was having visions of a past life of mine, and it was connected to, it's always connected to what's going on in your world right now. Okay? And when I wasn't in the vision, let's say, of it, my regular brain would be like this. Like I wanted to know more. And like all these things that really weren't that important, but I just wanted to know. It was like a movie. I couldn't figure out where to go to. But when I would move into my mode of getting back into that space, I always got more information, and I got the information that allowed me to connect it to here. But when and it's the same, like they're just showing me, it may not be the same example, but it's the same, where you think you're still working psychically or working with your team, but you're really not. We've moved into our brain because we're so used to, you and I, working psychically. That's a really comfortable space for us. So we can trick ourselves into, no, I'm really just sitting here wanting to know more. Or no, we're just really interested.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where it is. So then we actually pull ourselves further away from it, and there may not be more to know yet. You see?
Okay.
It may be that we've got this, then these events have to happen, and then more come. Like this was over time, mine. Now, when I look back, I want to say it was a short period of time because it was over, say, 3 months. But in those 3 months, it felt like a really long time, right? Because you never knew. So, but that's where it was. It was about the evolution of it, and then as the physical things were happening, then I got more information on that, which then tied in. So it all played this beautiful part, this beautiful awareness for me. But if I'd have got the awareness too soon, it wouldn't have made any sense for what was going on. Do you see?
Yep, I got it.
Yeah. So it is playing together. Trust it.
Yeah, it's a need to know right now.
Yeah, that always is.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, rock and roll. Good work, sister. Okay, we got a little bit of time. Rehaw. Okay, wait, I got distracted there. You see? I'm like, squirrel. I'm working again at something that I used to do. Oh yeah, Maggie. And now I'm concerned that I'm just falling into an old pattern. My question is, if it brings you joy, is it really bad? If it brings you joy, is it really bad? Maggie, you have to help me with that. Could it just be a step moving forward? You just answered it with the previous person. Just wanted to let you know you helped me. Oh, I love you so much. So first of all, if it's bringing you joy, not bad. Okay. If it's a comfort zone, you'll know it, and it will only last for so long. So it doesn't matter. This is the thing, you guys. There's no right and wrong here. And if you could let go of that, there's a right and wrong. You could be in this a lot easier in your world. Because that's the problem, right? What would people think? Is this the right thing to do? Should I do it the right way? They didn't do it the right way. They're divorced on. They did it the right way. They're miserable living together for 50 years. Or they did it. But that was their way. This needs to be your way. So if you're doing something right now that you were craving, that brings you joy, and that you feel good about, that's it. Full stop. I can say I'm back in Ireland again. Am I back in my old habits? Let me freaking tell you. I'm not back in my old habits. Ooh, that's for sure. But that's the thing is it's the joy, you guys. If you can feel the joy around it, joy doesn't last. Happiness doesn't last on its own. Is how I'm going to say this. Joy is something. I want you to think of joy like a hot spring, like something that just bubbles up all on its own. Happiness is something that's fleeting. You've got a good song on the radio, you're rocking it out, right? Your kid says something to upset you in the back seat, now you're mad. That was easy, that's quick. Whew, happiness gone. And then back, and then gone. Easy peasy, right? Joy is something that stays here. That's something that feeds you. It's something that you want to come from. That doesn't mean you can, but what happens is if you're living from joy, now the song comes on, it's even better. And then your kid or whoever says something that ripples your feathers or upsets you, and you will deal with it from an elevated state because you already have joy here. It won't be the only thing feeding you. When that song is the only thing feeding you, you're so easy to tip over. When you've got stuff that's feeding you from the inside, you're so hard to tip over. That's what this is. But you have to know yourself to do that, you guys. You have to tend to yourself. You have to make yourself the most important. And that doesn't mean being selfish in the way of not being nice to other people. It's being selfish and knowing that you're the only one that can listen to your soul and know what's right for you. And the bigger and the higher your vibration is, the more you ripple out and change the world, the more you share that light. But the only way to know how to turn on your light is to find out how to turn on your freaking light. You've got to be able to talk to yourself. You've got to be able to connect. Everybody's got a different reason for their light. And the light can change even in the sense of this used to light my fire. It doesn't really anymore. Now I'm doing this. Yeah, that's the evolution. That's the path. So yeah, Maggie, you're rocking it. It feels good that you're there. It feels good. Yeah, it's a craving. You'll know it. Here's the thing, you guys, when you're making a decision and you feel like you can't make a decision, the thing that you can't put down is generally your soul's guidance. And what I mean by that is somebody saying, oh, I've always wanted to go into nursing, for instance, right? I'm trying to think of an example from just recently, but this is just a made-up example, right? I've always wanted to go into nursing, but I don't think I'm smart enough. So here's the soul. I want to go into nursing. Here's the brain. I don't think I'm smart enough. Right? Now, if it was the soul's thing that we really don't want to do nursing, as soon as you decide, I don't think I'm smart enough, I don't want to go into nursing, your whole body would relax. Oh, fantastic. That's awesome. You would never think about doing nursing again. And even if you did, it would be a fleeting thought and it'd be like this. It wouldn't pull you. When you're being pulled, that nursing thing will come up all the time. You'll put it down for a month or two, it'll come up again. You'll put it down for 10 years, it'll come up again. It doesn't go away. That's your soul, that's your call, that's your pull. And you'll notice all of the programming that's stopping you from doing that. And I'm not saying one's right or the wrong. I'm saying when you want to know the difference, one of them you can't put down. The one you can't put down is that. Now, Maggie's example is about a job, so it may not be, but that was the thing. It brought her joy. It was pulling it. She was craving it. When you crave something, it means you think about it and then you're like, I don't think I want to try. But you keep the pull. I call it a pull, but craving's perfect. The same thing. Okay? That doesn't, I won't get on a whole craving story because we're running out of time. Good. We're good? Yeah, that's great. Right? And that's one way of feeding you. So you didn't take it on full time. She's just saying she was craving, she was missing the kids, not the adults. She can move this, change this whenever she wants. She gave herself what gave her joy. Yay! She followed her own joy. That's impressive. And was she nervous? Yeah. And was it a new school? Yeah. Was it new things? Yeah. And she still did it anyways. And now she gets the joy of it. High five. That's a high five happy dance right there. Sorry, I'm just going to answer this other one real quick and then we're going to overdo. Is a serious illness that cannot be diagnosed by Western medicine part of the path to your higher self? What is a serious illness that cannot be diagnosed? Everything is a path to your higher self. When you're dealing with illness and the body's really getting your attention, it's a path to you. So if you're calling your soul your higher self, but it's also about knowing the self that you've created. It's also about looking at the behavior, the patterns of this personality. Because your higher self's grand. It's that we want your higher self and you to be connected, and we want your brain and the awareness of you as a human, as a personality, to really start looking at that personality and look at what's creating illness. So you guys all know I'm a Dr. Joe Dispenza person, and that's his whole premise is the neurology, the neuroscience of it, the quantum model of it, the how come people can heal themselves. And what they found is it's all about how we're talking to ourselves, the vibrations we keep ourselves in, and how it affects the body and how and the responses to it. Now, is there a bigger, even more emotional or spiritual thing on that? Of course there is. But on a physical level, when you're dealing with the illness, you want to be able to be moving into the next things. That's why people have an awakening when they're very ill, or they'll say, I never believed in homeopathy before, but I sure do now. Yeah, because it healed you. It doesn't mean it's the only answer. It means now they have an awakened thing. Now they've expanded their soul. Now they have broke through some of the patterns in their heads. So a serious illness is definitely about breaking through patterns, about looking at that. Now, before we get to a serious illness, you'll also notice things along the way. So that's why I'm encouraging everybody to really make it about getting to know you, noticing what you like, what behaviors, what reactions don't work for you, so that you can start to move into the ones that do. Not because one's wrong, one's right, but because I no longer want to feel like this. I'd like to feel like this. It's a choice. So yeah, serious illness is a bigger question there, but I know we don't have time. But yeah, generally everything is calling us to our higher self. There's nothing out here that's not giving us an opportunity to look at if we're riding that wave or not. Okay? Okay. I want to say I love you guys. Sorry I'm 3 minutes over, but I like to talk. I actually had somebody ask me yesterday, but you have to be able to talk. I think we'll be fine. Anyway, I want to tell you, I love you, love you, I love you, I love you. I'll see you next month. If you need me, I'm still working. I know I'm not in the country, so can't be in person, but I am working on Zoom. I'm working on Skype, and I'm working on telephone, and of course email. So if you do want to work with me or book an appointment, you can do that. I am earlier morning appointments at the moment just because of the time change. Okay? You are very welcome. Very welcome. Love you guys. I will see you next month or maybe sooner. Okay. Be good to yourselves.